we'll go ahead and start off with Yu Darvish. And he said there was a smile on his face yesterday after he played catch yesterday. But how did he come out of that feeling?
I think he felt good. He's again recovered well today, and take it today and see what tomorrow looks like. But we're progressing and still getting our hands around. Arms around what exactly everything's going on with him, but if he's playing catch and he's feeling good, then we'll continue to take it next step.
I know it's still early with everything with Michael King, but is there any update on him?
There's really not. I know he's going to get, again, we're in a little bit of uncharted territory. This isn't a very common, thing that takes place. Our crack medical team, which are amazing, are working with our team doctors, which are also amazing, and some experts just to figure out exactly what's going on. And he's getting some incremental improvement. So from what I understand, clearly improvement is important initially, and anytime somebody gets injured or hurt. But I think it's especially important with this particular what he's dealing with, and so that's encouraging. More so, but yeah, we're doing some testing, further testing, getting some really qualified people and experts in the field for this to look at it, and we'll know more hopefully sooner than later. But that's all we know at the moment.
We had a chance to hear from Kyle Hart today in the clubhouse. What are your expectations for tomorrow?
No different than any starting pitcher we have, but Hardy's done a nice job. He started the season with us. I was impressed by his ability to adapt to the organization, get better as the spring training went, come in, the starts got better as he went. Also, I was really pleased and impressed by his ability to accept but not like the, going to El Paso and getting some work in. But he's done it, similar to Steven. Steven didn't break with the club, but went down and had the right mindset about, improving his craft. From all reports, Hart's done the same thing, and so I expect something similar that, Steven's done, and come up and give us a chance to win a big league ball game.
Speaking of Steven, the results obviously the early part of his time as a starter here in the major leagues have been good. What have you thought about the way he's thrown so far?
I've been very pleased. I think, you got through a complete game shutout in Colorado, so you got to be pretty happy about that, right? I think he's throwing great. The thing I like the most about it is, these guys have good stuff. Good stuff. Different stuff. Every pitcher's different arsenal. Steven's got really good stuff, but he's going at hitters. He's not, doing anything but trusting what he does, and he's letting his defense work, and he's going at it, and you look to make quality pitches, and him and Diaz have worked well together.
As far as Manny Machado, you look at some of his numbers this season, the average is top 5 in the NL. What have you thought about kind of Manny's offensive season as a whole, some of the numbers he's been able to put up?
It's just a really special talent that's going in a good spot consistently. And it is interesting, though, and it's worth pointing out that, I had similar microphones pointed in my face 5 days ago, and I got different questions. But my answers still remain the same, and that's the confidence that is a generational talent like Manny Machado that is in a good place mentally, physically, and performance is not guaranteed in this game. But when you have the ability he has, the consistency he has, you're going to get the most consistent, ability to get positive results, and he's been able to do that.
To dive into the generational talent part of Manny, you look at where he is. He's nearly at 350 home runs. He's almost at 2,000 hits. You look at the list of guys that have done that before the end of their age 32 season. It's 8 Hall of Famers, 3 amazing players after that. It gives you a level of appreciation for who he is, right?
Yeah, it's rarefied air. He's getting in listen, we're in the rarefied air as it is. Morgan made his debut last night, number 23,480, I believe is the number. So it's hard enough to be one of 23,480 in the history of Major League Baseball that fills up half of Petco Park, in a 160-year sport. And now you're talking about getting into the top 1% of that, and that's what Manny is doing and will continue to do, and it's pretty impressive.
You kind of alluded to this, but David Morgan's debut last night, how impressed were you by him going in a high leverage situation like that?
Very. Listen, he comes in and he's got 2 and 3. Lonnie was able to go back out and get Sanchez and get his guy, and set him up for the 2 righties, and he went out down a run and took care of business and got 2 outs and allowed us, Manny do his thing and get to some of the other guys to bring it home. So he did his part.
Like you said, the King injury was not a common thing. What, from your understanding, is what's uncommon about it?
I mean, it's just more, in the in the scap area. I mean, it's not overly structural. So we're trying to figure out what's taking place with it, and so to the fact that we're still diagnosing it makes it uncommon.
Is there any understanding of how it came about? Is that part of it?
He literally slept on it wrong and woke up, and he played catch, threw great. As we do, one of the things we do well, the industry does well, but we do especially well is we create really strong baselines and understanding, and are constantly testing and sort of aware of players' flexibility, their strength. Now the stuff during the course of games, release heights and spin rates and what their bullpens look like, and so we track all that extremely well, use it very effectively. So the point I'm getting at is all of us tracking in a very good place for Michael, and has been quite candidly since he's been here. And there's been some modifications and some improvement to it that he gets the credit for. But so the day before was like all systems go, and the next morning wakes up and he's dealing with what he's dealing with. So that makes it unusual as well.
He hasn't thrown or tried to throw or anything.
He did pick up some plyo balls prior to that, but that was more just to double, triple check that, this isn't going to happen today, but let's give it the old professional effort, not the college effort. And so he did it, and here we are.
Mike, can you
Does that help you, AJ?
Can you speak to the optionality of pregame work the last couple of days? Is that just a product of grinding through 9 games, and then you got 13 in a row coming up, and another 13?
I think you answered your own question, Joe. Yeah.
How important is that in this stretch to get guys off their feet?
Oh, it's everything. I mean, listen, the pregame, it's interesting, and I don't want to go to a diatribe about this because it's something you study and it's important, for both sides. But the most important thing is tonight at 6:40. Whatever takes place before is all in preparation to get to 6:40. And we have a very highly skilled sport that requires practice. But we also have cages that we can practice, and we have trajects which can absolutely demonstrate pretty much exactly what we're going to see tonight out of the opposing pitcher. We also have a very experienced back of the baseball card group that knows what they need to prepare and get ready. So, and that's all individually different. So at certain points we all get out there and get after it every day and take our full BP and ground balls. And then to your point, when you've got 22 games in 23 days, and you have some different time zones, and you have 2 extra inning games in 4 days, then I think common sense prevails and says, we should probably think about allowing ourselves to get proper rest and be ready to go, and then give the rightful credit to a very professional, highly accomplished group of players to say, I need ground balls, I need swings in the field, or I can hit in the cage and I can get 5 ground balls. Can I help you? Okay.
We're talking about practice.
Yeah, there's more to it, but that's the highlight.
Mike, is there with Jason Hayward going in the IL, is there a chance we can see Juso back up soon?
It's more of a question for AJ. I have my hand full with my job. But yeah, Tirso is always an option, and he's helped us already win some games, and I know he's doing well again in El Paso. But as far as what the roster move will be, that's AJ's decision. It's out of my pay grade.
Mike, Luis had kind of an off day yesterday from starting a bit of a rest. Given some of Fernando's recent struggles, we thought giving him a rest day maybe down in order.
Yeah, of course. Right? I mean, I talk to these guys all the time about how they feel. Part of Jeff's question is if you can show up and play the game and be ready to go put your energies into the game, is that going to be enough, or do you need a day off? There's conversations about that. The other thing is, to Sam's question about Manny is 10 days ago, no one would ask that about Fernando as far as like putting him down in the lineup. 6 days ago, people would ask that about Manny, and now they're asking about Manny being on pace to be an MVP player and a Hall of Famer. So I do understand the question completely, but I come from not an overreaction place, or an underreaction that's mostly surfaced well and knows the game's hard, and that Fernando's a generational talent, and he's contributing in other ways to our team that I see at least, defensively, and in other areas, and he's taken some at-bats that haven't gone his way, and I expect him to be able to come out of it, and we work together and see what that looks like. That help you? Ish? That's my best shot. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, appreciate it.